Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Yo on the Go Leadership Moments, where we look to upgrade all the vehicles of our lives. Today's special guest is Vivian Kelly, and she is CEO of Interpros, a company that is focused on strategic communications, PR, and social media campaigns, specifically for technology-focused companies. Welcome to the show today, Vivian. I'm so glad to have you here. You are also going to be a featured speaker at the 2021 IEEE Rising Stars Conference. And so I'm super excited to hear your ideas and your insight on social media and its role in the new economy. I know that technology, we always look at the product, right? That phone or that device that we're looking to use. But what I'm finding from hearing from others on this series is that the company itself is actually the product, and that the things that they sell are actually derivatives of that. And it's really the company's brand and name that's a very important part of how the business is structured and how the business thrives. So I'm curious how your role and how you are able to lead in this way to increase the brand awareness and the strengths of the company through media and through your company's actions.
Okay. So, well, the Rising Star, the IEEE Rising Star audience will know they'll be very media savvy and very social media savvy, rather. And it's an important platform to be able to communicate to your customers. So we work with, the media, with reporters who are influencers, also through social media. And it's all about content and developing content so that people can resonate with the products, but it's also really about the people. So when we work with our customers who are B2B technology companies and also associations, it's really important if you think, you've got a lot of competition. So how do you differentiate yourself? And you have a rich body of employees, whether you're a small, young startup company or one of the biggest companies on the planet. You have people who are behind the R&D and the manufacturing of the product. And social media really allows you to show the personality of the company. And that really helps to be a differentiator for you. And that's where I'm really passionate about diversity, is to, you are selling to a very broad base of customers and probably globally these days. So we all look different. We're different, genders, we're different ages. We have a lot of, different color in our backgrounds and our beliefs. So it's very important, you have a message as a company, and that's got to be consistent in the message, but have different people that represent the people that you're selling to also become brand ambassadors for you. So it's about, who you are, what you are, who you sell to, what you're selling to them. And then the people behind that, empower your people to be on the front line for your company and to represent who you are to the customers that you're selling to.
So it's not so much a product that works really well and sells really well. It's really, again, I'm hearing the same things over and it's about the relationship. It's the relationship that the business has to the consumer, but it's also a relationship with the business to the greater community that it's part of in this. This is really, really exciting to hear. I mean, it's something that I think not many people think about when they think about a business. And so, so as you work with clients, as you work in a business setting, what's the first thing that really that once they understand this concept, what's the first thing they want to do, and what's the first thing you recommend they do to increase that awareness and strength?
Well, honestly, the first thing they want to do is be in the Wall Street Journal. And that's very hard to do if you are, right off the bat as a company, unless, I don't think even Google got into the Wall Street Journal when they first started as an emerging company. So you've really got to layer on that story. So the first thing we ask our business leaders to do in the companies that we work with is to, tell us your story. And then we kind of pull out what they're most passionate about. And it isn't just about, sell your product to me, because when you're talking to a reporter or when you're putting something out there on social media, the audience wants to hear, what's in it for me, or we call it WIFM. What's in it for me? How will it benefit me? How will it improve my life? Whether I'm a business user, if I'm a business decision maker or a consumer. And it's a messaging process that you work through to kind of get to that nirvana, if you like. So I don't want to hear about the speeds and feeds and the bells and whistles and the technical specs necessarily. These are all very important, but how is it going to improve my life? I'll give you an example. A trash can. One of my first trash cans that I bought when I moved to this house was Simple Human. And I liked everything about the Simple Human brand. I liked their philosophy. And after a few years, the trash can stopped working. The lids didn't close. So we phoned, and all we wanted was a little piece for the trash can. We were happy to pay for it. They sent it to us. They did it so at no charge. They paid for all the shipping. I've still got the same trash can now that I've had, I think, for nearly 20 years. So they've not made any more revenue from that. What they have done is every time I buy a product for my family, or I need a soap dispenser or anything in their range, I will always go to Simple Human. I'm very wedded now to that brand. I had a good experience with the person on the phone. They were responsive, and that will always be with me, that essence of that company.
So it's that really whole experience, and it's a whole, I would say, it sounds like it's a whole real experience that you're really developing a relationship with the company in a way that's dependable, that you would vouch for that company by giving those gifts to your friends or advocating for them. So in many ways, we think about companies, at least the government thinks about companies on a tax basis as their own entity, but we're really creating a life. These are real entities that we create a life with, and we spend our lives interacting with. So that's a really neat way of thinking about this.
Yeah, and I think it's important for leaders to think that way too, because you're not just hiring human capital. You're not just hiring someone to develop a product for you, or to come up with some engineering marvel for your company. They really need to have skin in the game. When you're recruiting people, you want them to believe in the company, and you want them to be on board, and you want them to be empowered. And this is really important for managers. And I think in this pandemic, we see a lot of leaders having struggled. I think they're getting better with this kind of virtual world, but we could end up with a virtual workforce. Twitter, for example, they're telling people you never need to come back. But you still need to have that interaction. But when you're recruiting people, you need to find out what they're like as individuals, not just what their degree is, or what's important to them in terms of their what ambitions do they have for career and professional development. You want to find out what kind of person they are, and if they fit your values as a leader. And and when you hire them, you want to impart your knowledge so that you can then grow and become a leader, and then they of course can kind of take on your position. So it really is all about the human beings and the human experience. And another example I can give you is my mother is elderly, and she has Kaiser Permanente for her insurance, and I think over the years that's had a pretty bad reputation one way or another. We have experienced nothing but good from everyone, from the people taking our temperatures walking into a Kaiser facility, to the amazing doctors and nurses. And everybody obviously has the same employee manual, which is valuing the patient and the patient experience. And that absolutely is across the board. And if you want that, you do want that as a leader for your company. Everybody.
So it's not so much just the strategic communications outside to the customer, it's also internal, and right? So to have that consistency both on the inside and the outside is crucial for a leader and a company that's a leader in its own right. Well, that's really, really cool, really great ideas that you've shared so far.
It doesn't matter. I mean, very, very large companies, it's very difficult to, for the CEO or the C-suite to be able to really kind of communicate that internally. But everybody needs to be, if not on message, because not everybody is a spokesperson or not an official spokesperson, but they have to understand, what does it mean to be an employee of X? What is my contribution to this company? How am I valued as an employee? And happy employees go out and tell happy stories about, their brand. And everybody's on social media. So it's just as important to have an internal communication strategy as an external communication strategy, and they need to be consistent.
Vivian, this has been a really incredible time together. Thank you so much for the experience that you shared. I know there's so much more that you can share, and I'm looking forward to meeting you and spending more time with you at the IEEE Rising Stars Conference in January 2021. And I know that we're going to have a lot of other viewers coming in from around the world in this global conference. So those who are watching here, please look into the details in the description section and click on the register link to register for this great conference. We have an awesome array of featured speakers, including Vivian Kelly. You'll be able to meet with her and connect with her throughout this time. So Vivian, thank you so much for your time and attention, and I appreciate it and look forward to seeing you soon.
Absolutely, Terrence. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you. And
Bye-bye.
until next time, I hope this was helpful. Until next time, bye-bye.